The Detroit Pistons selected Ron Holland, the 18-year-old of the G League Ignite, number 5 overall. 6'8", and I've heard some people say he's probably more like 6'7".
Yeah.
But he still has some room to grow. He's one of those guys that I don't believe his man weight has necessarily set in. When you talk
his
about
man weight.
The man weight. When you look at Dalton Connect, 23 years old, when you look at Sadiq Bey, when the Pistons drafted him, you could tell that he was older. You could tell that man weight had set in. His body was a little bit more filled out. Ron Holland isn't there yet. But I like what he brings to the table. I know that our initial reaction last night was one that probably looked like, you know what, not necessarily happy with the pick. And I think that there's a lot of questions, and it's fair because everything leading up to it, from a lot of the talking heads, a lot of the scouts, a lot of reports, was that Ron Holland was somebody that you could get if you traded back in this draft. But this draft proved so much to us that the value wasn't quite what we thought it was.
Yeah.
When you see Rob Dillingham, that trade for way down the road future first-round picks. 2031, that's when you start to realize the trade-back options probably weren't there for the Detroit Pistons. So at that point in time, you have to decide between this. Do you go and get somebody who has a low ceiling but can step in right away and help you with one of these needs that we have right now in the squad, which one of the primary ones, shooting, and more shooting. Obviously, we have a need for a defensive product, what Klingon could provide, or what maybe Memphis is hoping Zach Edey provides. So there were some needs. We knew 3-and-D type of wing. There were some shooters on the board, but the Detroit Pistons, in my opinion, and this is what you have to do when you're in the top 5, they took a swing for a home run type of a hit. The high potential guy, a guy who just within a season ago was the number 1 prospect in terms of who people thought could go number 1 in the draft. This is not a guy to just kind of sneeze at. The talent is there. The only issue we talked about on the draft show as well, Ron Holland, was the shooting. But everything else is there. And he did this in the G League, not in college.
Yeah, we'll get critical on him, but let's talk about the things that are good about his game. Let's talk about what we like, because he did do a lot of things while in the G League, leading up to the G League, becoming the top prospect in the nation. And he's a bucket at 18.
Absolute bucket.
Talk about his usage rate. Talk about some of the things he did playing in the G League against bigger guys. Against, I don't want to say grown men because there's still young kids in there too, but more developed guys. So he averaged 2.5 steals a game. I know you got some stuff prepared.
Yeah.
But he does have a lot good about his game